back. So glad you guys could join me again for another meal prep. This one is going to be more components. And I'm going to, just hang on, I'm going to tell you what I got thinking in my head going on for this week. And then we're going to put some of the items together now, and then some when we're ready to make them. Well, what I'm thinking about, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Vicki-Lynne, and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that little bell icon and hit that subscribe button. Does the subscribe button actually light up when I say it? Because that's what it's supposed to do. And if you're one of my loyal subscribers, thank you so much for dropping by again and hanging in there with me. So what I'm thinking about this week are doing like grain bowls along with maybe some sushi. So I'm going to do some of the components now, but I also am going to, I still have potatoes in the fridge, so I'm good there. I'm gonna break those up with some frozen vegetables. I want to use some of those up, but I do have some asparagus and I do have some Brussels sprouts that I'm going to roast in the oven. I'm only gonna, these ones are tiny little asparagus, so I'm only gonna roast them for like 10 minutes. The Brussels sprouts take a little bit longer, but those would be great on our grain bowls, beside our grain bowls, or the asparagus I was thinking would be great in the sushi. Okay, in real life, battery died, so sorry about that. So I'm preheating my oven to 375, so I'm going to get going with the asparagus and the Brussels sprouts first. And then I'm just going to start to grate and do some of the components that we're going to use either in the sushi, on our bowls, or in spring rolls. Again, all options this week, so we can mix it up, do some spring rolls. I'm going to do a quick, easy peanut sauce using peanut butter powder. So that really lowers the calories and the fat on that. So we're gonna whip that up together really quick. And then I'm just gonna prep some of the vegetables so that we have that going. So I have some romaine. I'm going to actually cut it in half. This half I'm going to use for the spring rolls. When I do spring rolls, the other half I'll chop, and that could be added with our salads and stuff. We are gonna do a bean with that. Haven't figured out which bean I wanna do. I do have some in the freezer that I've pre-cooked. And if you're looking to be budget friendly, highly recommend cooking them from dry. And I know what you're saying. Oh my God, Vicki-Lynne, I do not have the time or the energy to do that. So this is what I do. Is again, with the beans, you can basically set them and forget them. If you have an Instant Pot, you're gonna save a whole bunch of time and money, because with an Instant Pot, you actually don't need to soak your beans. The pressurization does something that helps release any of that gassiness that's in beans that sometimes why we soak beans is to help that come out, ferment, whatever. So if you have an Instant Pot, you don't even have to worry about it. You can just cook your beans. I cook like a whole bag of beans and then divide them into smaller packs, lay them flat in the freezer, and you're good to go. Anytime I want black beans, I grab a bag. Anytime I want chickpeas, I grab a bag. And so I just say every day, you're just going to, and I mean, it takes like 35 minutes in the Instant Pot. So you can just every day do a different bean and then freeze them all, and then you're free to go for months and months. So again, you put a little planning ahead, you save a lot of time and money on the back end. But if you don't have that, I mean, obviously canned beans are fine, and they're still cheaper than buying that disgusting meat or any of that other stuff. Okay, so lettuce we're going to get cleaned. The first thing I'm going to do is the asparagus. So let's do this. We're going to take our asparagus out of our packaging. Well, maybe I'll save some and see what my husband wants to do. Take off the tail ends that are a little woody and hard. So we have our asparagus, just got them in a small. I'm just going to season them with some garlic powder. And you want to do this when your vegetables are wet, because the seasonings will stick to them much better. And I'm going to do smoked paprika. Now, again, you guys do whatever flavorings you like. And then I'm going to throw these in the oven, probably for like 10 minutes. We're going to just clean our Brussels sprouts, wash them, and then add some seasoning to them. So I just like to take off the stem, and then whatever's not good will just fall off. I think I'm going to actually do these in half because they're quite large, maybe even quarters, because those would be better in our bowls or as a side dish. I think I'm going to spice up my Brussels sprouts with some of the za'atar. But I mean, you could do, and I do like the other one, the ajika one. I love that one too, but I think I'm just going to spice them up, switch it up a little bit. I use that ajika all the time. All right. And I rinse them off so they have water on them so that the spices will stick. I'm going to spread them out best we can so they'll crisp up and get that char. Again, a little bit extra on top. And again, we're going to put that in the oven probably about 20 minutes for those. And you know it, and the salad spinner. You know my favorite new toy. I'm like a kid. So we're going to do half. These halves I'm going to use to put my fillings in for the spring rolls. We're going to dip those in just to rinse, get them clean. And then this I'm going to almost shred that we can put in our salad, use it as filling. So now tell me what you like on, say, your grain bowls. I like to do brown rice or, again, whatever rice, or quinoa. Quinoa is another one that I do like. I love doing quinoa on the bottom, lots of crunchy vegetables, and I'm going to do some purple cabbage. I like tofu, I like beans, obviously tomatoes, duh. Yeah, all of the above. I love everything and anything, and I just think that spring rolls are like such a great vessel. Now, to go on our bowls and our sushi and our spring rolls, I have some organic sprouted tofu from Trader Joe's, and I am going to cook that up. So the great thing about this sprouted one is it's pretty firm, but you don't actually have to press it. I'm going to do in thirds, and I'm going to do in thirds. That way they'll fit into the sushi, they'll fit into whatever we want, and then we can cut them up. So I am going to marinate those. I'm going to start with a little bit of water in my marinade. I don't want it to be super salty. I'm using a soy-free one. Soy sauce, soy-free. I'm going to use a little rice wine vinegar. I'm kind of just eyeballing it, to be honest. We're going to follow the flavors with the smoked paprika. That'll give it that smokiness. Onion powder. And then some garlic. Ooh, and a little bit of ginger. I can't find my ginger, so I'm going to use ginger powder. I'm going to add just a splash of maple syrup. Probably like a teaspoon. Now you could use the extra firm tofu from Trader Joe's. That's also good, the super firm. We're just gonna give that a shake, put that aside. Going to check on my asparagus. Okay, so asparagus is done. Let's keep going with our, we're gonna do some red cabbage, purple cabbage. I call it purple cabbage, I think it's called red cabbage. But now that I've keep doing this all the time, now I've forgotten what the correct name is. Scream it down below. Is it purple or red cabbage? And I'm just going to shred some of this. Can always shred more later. Just kind of gets you going. That way you'll have them for bowls. I like putting them in my spring rolls. I was doing veggies last night, so I already cut up my cucumbers thinly sliced for spring rolls and sushi. And then the next thing I'm going to do is some carrots. So I'm going to grate carrots, and that'll also be great for the sushi, the spring rolls, or the salads. So we're just going to continue getting our vegetables ready, and I'm just peeling my carrots. I'm going to be cleaning up my celery. And again, if you've been here before, I always keep the tops and my skins. Same thing with the celery, and I put them into a Ziploc bag that I keep in my freezer. When that gets full, I make my veggie stock, which is super simple and easy. I have a video for it. I will link that for you. And again, just keeping this as budget friendly. So I'm actually going to grate my carrot right into the container that I want to store it in. And yes, if you had a food processor, feel free to use your food processor. My blades don't work on mine, and I do need a new food processor, so I'm doing it the old-fashioned way and getting a little workout in at the same time. Always having everything prepared makes your week go easy. Now we are just going to fry up our tofu after we had it marinating for 15-20 minutes. We just want to impart some flavor into the tofu. We'll add extra flavor to whatever we're making with it. So we're just going to cook this. I'm using my nonstick frying pan, and you're just going to try to brown each side. So I just kind of invert them and turn them around, and then you make sure that you get each side nicely browned. And that'll impart extra flavor. It'll caramelize the soy sauce, and it'll make them delicious for either the bowls or the sushi or whatever we're using it for. So we have our nori and our spring rolls. We've got our lettuce soaking. We've grated some red cabbage, some carrots, some snacking stuff. Cooked up the asparagus that needed to get used, and also the Brussels sprouts. So those will be great in the sushi or on top of the salads. And then just pan fried our marinated tofu. And that's going to get us started for the week. Again, have potatoes, have frozen vegetables, pretty well set.